Move over, European monarchs. We might have just found the new king of Europe. This one is actually called the King of Europe. The description simply says tons of goals, win, 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 and this is what I don't understand. It says Cucurella Ballon d'Or, but the team they're using, it looks like it's Vasco da Gama. So when I look at the page itself, it does have Coutinho, it has Bernal, Hugo Mora, it has Paulinho, Victor Luis. So it has an interesting team, but it is in the Brazilian league. So I don't know where Cucurella comes in. But we're going to take a look with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side, Ipswich Town. But now we have looked at a couple of 4-2-3-1s that lately that have not worked at all. Will this be any different? Let's just jump into the Premier League and see. Well, yeah, I think it did. I mean, 126 goals for Liverpool, 108 for Aston Villa, and they're not leaking a whole bunch? Yeah, this definitely worked. However, though, for Liverpool, they do lose out in the FA Cup third round in a replay against Tottenham, but they beat Aston Villa going into the Carabao Cup final, and they trash Arsenal 3-0. But 7-0, ouch, and John McGinn being sent off in the 35 did not help. They do make it all the way to the Europa League final, unfortunately losing out in extra time 1-0 to Lazio. However, overall for Liverpool, this definitely was a good season. You get a winner's medal in the Carabao Cup, you get a winner's medal in the Premier League, you do get runners-up in the Europa League in third round. Yeah, that was trash. Squad-wise, you're still not seeing a sea of green, though, which is interesting. But goals, 33 for Nunez, 29 for Salah, 25 for Diaz, and 22 for McAllister. That's a good set around, though. 17 assists for both Robertson and Trent, and then average rating, Salah gets the 7.49. Still kind of on the lowish side for him. As we saw, Aston Villa getting absolutely hammered by Liverpool 7-0 in that Carabao Cup semi-finals. However, they get to the FA Cup final and beat Manchester City in penalties 2-2. But somewhat like Liverpool, they falter at the last step in Europe. Europa Conference League final 1-2 loss to Rennes. Or is it Rennes? Is that how you pronounce it? Rennes? So overall, I mean, again, this is not a bad season whatsoever. Semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, winners of the FA Cup, runners-up in the Conference League, and runners-up in the Premier League. I'd take it. Now, that is a sea of green right there to an extent, at least for Aston Villa. But goals, 34 for Ollie Watkins, 28 for Diaby, 22 for Zaniolo, and 20 for Ramsey. That is a well front right there. Moussa Diaby with 18 assists, as is Douglas Luiz. An average rating, Moussa Diaby with a 7.39. Data hub for the two teams. Liverpool looking a lot more like Liverpool these days. The last tactic we tried, this defensive piece was all over the place. However, here, this is what a lot more of what they are expecting to look like. Team attacking through the roof, no question about it. 3.32 goals per game, a flat 1 conceded, and a flat 1 XG against. Aston Villa, again, looking very good overall. A little bit less than Liverpool defensively, but still pretty on par. No question about it. 2.84 goals per game for Aston Villa. 1.03 conceded. It's actually lower than their usual. 1.28 XG against is about on par. Premier League stats, 2.53 points per game is fantastic for Liverpool. 2.37 for Aston Villa is also really well done. Most goals, of course, 126, get you to the top of the list. Aston Villa, 108. I mean, look at the disparity between these two. 108 to 74, wow. Fewest shots against Liverpool with 257, Aston Villa in 7th with 361. Most possession, 55% for Liverpool, 54 for Aston Villa. Most dribbles made, Aston Villa in there in 6th with 651, Liverpool with 666. Best pass completion, Aston Villa make the list with 87%, and most shots for Liverpool with 717, Aston Villa with 632. But now, I'm not even going to worry about the build-up. Ipswich obviously did a fantastic job, of course. 135 goals, 118 points, first place. Yeah, it worked. Somewhat of a standard, at least to a degree, set of domestic cup runs. Carabao Cup 4th round, 3-3 in penalties to Burnley is where they drop out, and FA Cup 5th round is where they lose to Manchester City 1-2. So yeah, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, fairly standard, maybe a little bit better than standard, but still around that average. But Ipswich with 118 points in the league is through the roof. Squad-wise, they've got some nice screens there too. I mean, obviously we'd like to see them more, but still, overall 20 goals for George Hurst, 18 for Connor Chaplin, West Burns with 16. Average rating, Leif Davis getting back up there with 23. And then average rating, Ali Al-Hamadi gets in there with only 2 off the bench, but Leif Davis with 7.65. Championship stats, 2.57, just like Liverpool, points per game. Most goals, of course, 135 is going to bring you to the top. Fewest shots against, 344 in second. Most possession, 55%. Most dribbles made in 5th with 795, and most shots for with 761 in 1st. But now, let's take a little bit deeper of a dive into this 4-2-3-1. We start out with a sweeper keeper in defend, fullbacks on the left and the right in attack, ball-playing defenders in the central spots, 2 DMs in support, 2 inverted wingers in support, an advanced playmaker in attack in the center, and then an advanced forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality, in possession attacking with his narrow, approach plays pass to space, underlap on the right, but focus play down the left and the right, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, and roll it out. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, step up more, trap outside, and stop crosses. So overall, how did it do for our 3 teams? I mean, no question about it. This is probably one of the best 4-2-3-1s that we've seen. Of course, if you took control of this, you could definitely get the points even more up there. You still got 7 draws and 2 losses to work with Ipswich. But, I mean, you're already at the top in this. You did very well. But now, again, remember, I am on holiday this entire season. My coaches are doing all the work for me. There's no transfers whatsoever. So if you took control of this, yeah, you definitely could go through the roof on these. I mean, obviously, just depending on your play style and all. But all 3 teams making first and second, I would definitely try it out if you like the 4-2-3-1. So that is it for me, Savvy FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.